Hi, happy beaders. Well, I am finally getting around to doing a video that's not a box opening. And I did work on some beads this weekend and wanted to show you what I accomplished. So here we go. I had some necklaces that I wanted to work on as far as just fixing them up a little bit. And the purple necklace is one that belonged to my great grandma, and I actually mentioned it on another dollar bead box opening. Told kind of a funny story about it. But it was, so I had restrung it some time ago. It was a little bit, well, the clasp, basically the clasp broke. It belonged to my great grandma, one of my great grandmas, and it was so funny because the thread on it was just in perfect condition. I couldn't believe it, but the clasp actually broke. It was I guess a bar and opening where you slide the bar into the round part, and the round part had a crystal on it, or a glass bead, and that cracked, and then the catch just wouldn't catch anymore, so I restrung it. But these big beads at your throat, they were a little bit too close to my throat, and I didn't like that, so I did add some jump rings to the end. I wanted to do that, so it gives me just, I added about 3 of them, and it just gives me a little extra room, and I feel a little bit better about it when I wear it. The spacer beads, the glass spacer beads that came with the, that were on the necklace were fine, but I did add, when I restrung it, some seed beads, some Preciosa seed beads there, and it really was in great shape. I, probably cleaned up the spacer beads a little bit, but it really was in great shape, all except for that clasp. So it's restrung, and now it's big enough that I feel better about wearing it. And then this other one is one that I think belonged to my mom's mom, and it was really short. And I think the reason for that was that some of the glass spacers had broken. Sorry, I'm getting my hands in the way. Some of those glass spacers had actually broken, and some of them were really dirty in the holes too. So I took it apart. It was strung on a fine chain. I took it apart and I strung it on wire. But I cleaned up those, some of those holes were filled with black. Just, maybe it came from the chain, I don't know. But I cleaned it up and everything, and then I needed to make it a little bit longer. So what I did was I had some beads that I got from the dollar bead box, these squared L's around that are surrounding the big middle bead. One time I ordered from them, and one thing was missing, and so they sent me these when they replaced what had been missing. They sent me these squared L's, and I thought that was really nice. Their customer service is very, very good. So then I went with just one of the original spacers, and then I put, to fill in for some of the missing glass spacers that were broken, and I actually broke one of them while I was cleaning it. These are Preciosa rondelles that I got from the dollar bead box, and I got 6 of them for $1, and they're really beautiful. I just love them. So I got that done, and then, I restrung this, and it is just the perfect length, and I'm actually wearing it today. So just took it off for a minute. Okay, now for what was in our dollar bead box this month. I mentioned that I was working on an orange necklace with some beads I already had. I have several different ones, but when I saw these brown glass rondelles in the bronze color, I was just immediately, oh, this is going to be good for me. I'm going to put it with this orange, and it really did work out well with some of these other orange beads that I'll explain in a minute. And then also the check glass rondelle jasper mix, those work too. The colors in that, they're kind of orangey and browny. It's a cream color, but then with orange accents and brown accents in there, making it look just like a natural stone. It's really cool. So these are some of the other ones, and this is my favorite one. It looks like a clownfish. It's howlite, or white turquoise, and it's dyed orange. And then this is a gem cut fire agate orange. And then this is a matte, just an agate that's matte colored. And I put those in there. And I did it slightly randomly. I tried to put these howlite beads every about 2 or 2.5 inches, and then I just filled in with other things. This is a vintage glass bead, vintage German glass bead. I've got a few of those in there. And then I've got some, oops, I've got some of these other ones that are some that my mom had, just from an inexpensive glass bead mix. This one and this one from that. And there's another vintage one. And then there's a place in Traverse City that we like to go that's called Nobbins, and I've got about 4 of these glass beads in there. Where's another one? Because they're a little bit different. They're not all exactly the same. Oh, here they are. Here's the 2 of them that I got in Traverse City. I have a few more of those at home too. I thought, well, maybe if I make a bracelet to go along, I can put those in there. But I really love the way that these turned out, and that was just an excellent deal from the Dollar Bead Box, that strand of 70 rondelles. Love it. And speaking of the Dollar Bead Box, they had a special that they announced in December with the December Dollar Bead Box. Do you remember? They gave us a thank you gift of a 20% off discount on your next reorder. So if you're planning to reorder, you have through today, MLK Day, January 15, to reorder, and the coupon code is DBB20. So if you were eyeing some things, or you got some things in your January box that you think you'll use more of, then go ahead and get on there and get your 20% off. As always, happy beading!